Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode. Today I'll be talking about AI. Now, before I start, I want to call out that I'm not an AI expert. I've been doing cybersecurity for over 20 years now, and I don't believe that I'm an expert in cybersecurity either. However, I can confidently say that I understand my industry very well. Now, you might be wondering why I'm adding AI content to this podcast. It's because I want to learn AI, and also I want others to learn AI. I want to make cyber very simple for anyone who wants to understand cyber or technology. That's the reason I started this podcast. I want to give a direction to beginners as well as anyone who wants to include tech in their career. When I started my career, there was no guidance, there was no Google. We went with flow. we Luckily we landed in technology, and we kept reading. In today's world we have more than enough resources. The problem is there's so much content that you get overwhelmed, and that's why I want to make it simple, so that anyone, be it a kid in a school, anyone who's doing a graduation and wants to adopt tech, anyone who's already in technology and wants to include a new domain in their learning process or in their career, I want to help them. I want to make sure that it's easy for them to have a guided process to understand tech, adopt it, and grow. That's why AI. Now, in this podcast, I'm putting my view of AI, my context of AI. How am I learning? What I'm leaving? Okay, what I'll be adopting. So it will be evolving. I can make mistakes. Please guide me if I'm making mistakes. Give your own point of view. And always like, share, and subscribe. We want more people to adopt technology. We want to be learning together, to grow together. With that, let's get started. So I'll be covering three things today. Is what's the new interesting stuff that I found in AI world uh, earlier in last few weeks, how the AI supply chain industry is shaping up, and the list of curated content for anybody who wants to learn AI. So let's look at what's new. So as you know, the Google Bard versus ChatGPT from Microsoft, that battle is getting active. You know, the Bing search is now powered by ChatGPT. If you use the browser from Microsoft, it's already integrated. Google is still not integrated, but as far as I've seen, but I've started using Bard as a different app. I'm trying to compare results from both. What ChatGPT has done is they have launched a mobile app on the iOS, so that's interesting. So these things will keep happening. Eventually, we will be winners. The other interesting thing that happened is there is a new AI generated movie coming. The first one is called The Lord of Rings by Wes Anderson. It's completely low budget, it's AI generated, and that's fascinating, which means it will be easy for any content creator to produce movies. So it's great for people who don't have budgets. I'm really excited about the potential it has for uh, content writers, movie creators, and the entire world of cinema and movies. Okay. AI girlfriends. So there's an influencer known as Karen Marjorie. She trained her chat bot on thousands of hours of her videos, and she started charging $1 minute for access. Which what that means is anybody can interact with her uh, chat bot with her voice as an interactive session. Okay, so this is just a start. I think we'll see the impact in terms of music. Also singers, etc. Also, Amazon plans to add ChatGPT style searches to its online store. I think this is great. It's going to come to all our products, all common websites, to make it easy for people to search products. So LLM and conversational style bots will come. Okay, so prompt engineering is going to get exciting. So learn how to prompt engineer your favorite products. Okay. I found an interesting white paper on cybersecurity Essentially, it's called the Exploring the Vulnerability of Language Models to Poisoning Attacks. It came on a website called Towards Data Science. Highly recommend to read it if you are in cybersecurity. The second thing is how the industry is shaping up. This is very interesting for any newcomer if you understand your industry. And essentially, this is a concept I learned from my foray into investing and stock markets. If you work in your industry, understand the structure, understand how companies and your competitors are behaving, and that's how you will learn more about your industry. You will have an edge. So I've covered this previously in one of my earlier podcasts where I covered a blog from Sequoia in Forbes. It classified the entire industry into two components, infrastructure and apps. And by the way, if you are on my podcast, visit my YouTube channel, and I'm sharing some screenshots of the content that I've picked from these blogs. So going back to the industry, it's infrastructure and apps. And in infrastructure, there is hardware, cloud service provider, data processors, data labeling platforms, data warehouse platforms, and then companies that are specific to models. And there are companies that are using these models in their specific industries, and there are general apps for improving productivity across various use cases. Similar thing is published by another company called Allows Enterprise, and they have built up a similar industry supply chain model. Okay, now what that means is, for us, is if you are in this domain, if you want to learn AI, the most basic thing you would want to learn is the CSPs. The hardware is very limited unless depending on the your domain you worked in. If you work in a hardware company, great. If not, at least run one cloud service provider. Try to learn data warehouses and any other apps. Try to implement models in case you have a large data set. Even if you don't have a large data set, you can go on internet and find multiple websites that are giving you data to run your projects, and then see if you can implement such use cases in your businesses. Okay, that's how you stay ahead of the curve. Implement as much as you can in terms of real world use cases. Now also in terms of following the money, because that's how money comes into the industry. From industry, various companies are created, these companies implement things, and that's how we build our careers, right? By implementing or working for these companies. Now the generative AI has been getting a lot of money. This was fueled by the Microsoft's investment into OpenAI worth $10 billion, and that led to an exponential surge in startup funding for generative AI. Now 81% of this money is allocated to model makers. These are companies that are responsible for creating base models such as OpenAI and DeepMind, and OpenAI boasts the highest valuation today, and this is followed by DeepMind, Anthropic, and Stability AI. So more companies will come and they will get money. Also, Roundhill, a company known for its ETF, themed ETFs, they have an ETF on cybersecurity, they have ETF on big data. So they also launched an ETF focused on generative AI. They believe that this market for enterprise software application from generative AI is over $120 billion in a decade in the base case, and around $150 billion in the bull case. So if you look at their top investments, they have invested into platform companies, the most basic layer as of now. And as you know, these companies will keep on changing the composition of their ETF as the industry moves. So 50% goes into platform, 18% goes into infrastructure, 25% goes into enterprise software, and around 9% goes into consumer software. Okay, so you'll see some of the common names there like NVIDIA, Microsoft, Alphabet, Baidu, Adobe, etc. I didn't see any data focused companies, so that's my personal view. These people are smarter than I am, but Goldman Sachs predicts that AI could catalyze the growth of around $7 trillion in next 7 years because of heightened productivity. So that's massive thing. Okay, let's move into the last section of the podcast, which is Learner's Corner. These are resources that I've collated on how to learn AI. Now I've built a layered approach. So these are 3 layers that I think are believable. We can make essentially high level, which is essentially how AI works. Okay, So these are bunch of links, essentially TED Talks on AI. And they talk about the implications and usage of AI in various domains. And then level 2 is use of AI based products in your domains, right? So level 1 is understanding what AI is. It's very high level. It can be used by anyone who wants to know what AI is. Level 2 is going to the next step, where is using products in your domains, in your industry, generally. So example, a Google search or any search that has AI based bot integrated, using ChatGPT, Bard, those are standard things you can do. You can use AI based tool, like I use Canva for image creation. You can use analytics. I'm sure some of you in digital marketing would be using analytics also, so on and so forth. Understand if the tool that you're using in the industry, are they using AI? If not, are any of their competitors using AI based tools, and what is the difference that they are bringing on the table? Okay. The second thing you can do is you can use AI based productivity tools in your day-to-day work. So example, in your browsing, summarization of documents, reading documents, email composition, etc. Look for those tools. For example, in stock markets, I saw that my mentor Vivek Mashrani posted a video on using ChatGPT for doing stock analysis. So that was amazing. I'll be putting his link in the description of the podcast as well as the YouTube content. I also recommend a website called futuretools.io. Disclaimer, I have no association with them, just that they are putting a good catalog of tools in various domains. So that was layer 2. In layer 3, this is for people who want to build products or want to really understand AI at technical level. So at this level, you will have technical courses. So these are a bunch of resources like Practical Guides to LLM, Microsoft's Azure AI Course. There are courses from Harvard, Stanford on data science as well as ML, use of AI with Python, ML for everybody, courses on ChatGPT prompt engineering for developers, also start learning AI with project-based courses from builtwithaiclub.com. So I've put in some of these resources together. Take a look, learn and adopt based on what you want to do. Okay, maybe you can start from level 1, level 2, level 3. This is what I'm doing. So I am right now doing level 2 and level 3 together. I'm trying to find tools that can improve my productivity, as well as in level 3 I'm doing some technical courses. With that, thank you so much. That was it for today. Please share and subscribe. We want everyone who wants to get into tech to be able to learn from this podcast. If you want to contribute to my content, happy to invite you on my channel or my podcast, and we can talk together and share something with the world. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.